If your course ideas are scattered across 17 different Google Docs and 6 sticky notes and a notes app you haven't opened since June, let's fix that. Today I'm going to show you how to start planning your entire course inside of Notion. From the big idea all the way down to the lesson outlines, all in one convenient little dashboard. So grab your favorite drink, light a candle, and let's make your course make sense. By the way, how cute is this mug that I just got at Disney? I have been obsessed with Pooh lately, and this is just adorable. A little honey pot. And it says Good Morning Sunshine on the back, because who doesn't need a little pick-me-up from Winnie the Pooh in the morning? I love it. I have started using Notion for every course build, digital product build that I do because it keeps everything in one nice little organized package. I can see the overview, I can edit the outline, I can even add in the deliverables so that they are easy to access. Now, I know plenty of people out there, and even I used to do this, and it's totally fine if you do that, if you still do this, use like a Google folder to organize everything, and that's fine. But what I have found is that when I try to use a Google folder to organize course content, like you can kind of dump everything in there and you can make a Google Doc with like your outlines and things, but it's not quite there to the point of organization to really help you when you're going to start putting it into your course platform. Like no matter how hard I tried to keep my Google Drive folder organized with materials, it always just kind of became a dumping ground. Like here's all the videos, here's all the documents, here's all the whatever else is going in there, right? But it all just kind of became like a huge pile in a folder. Notion lets you organize that even further to where you can create tables and toggles and really organize down to like every last little detail. And you can upload the photos that go with this module, and you can upload the documents or link to the documents that go with this module, so that when you go to put it in your course platform, like I just mentioned, everything is right there exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay, so let's just do a quick walkthrough on how I set this up inside of Notion. So we are going to start with a blank page. So I'm just going to come up here and hit create new page. You're going to call it whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call mine course name, planning HQ. You can call it whatever you want. Doesn't matter. I like something that makes me feel like the CEO of this course, because I am, right? And you are too. So I like HQ because I think it just sounds so like important. Anyways, now let's make it cute. So you can add an emoji. So right here, you can click icon. It will randomly choose one for you, but you can put whatever you want in here. If you don't know what you want, but you don't like what it chooses, just click this little random button here and it will just pick random things. If you know what you want, then you can add that in there. I love doing a coffee cup, graduation hat, whatever suits your mood for your course. You can also add a cover. So again, it's going to choose like a random one for you. You can hit change cover over here. You can choose a solid color. If you want to do that, you can also upload your own. So you can make a cover in Canva that's very specific to your course and upload that here. They also have some stock images in here that you can use to really give your dashboard like its own vibe. You can also go to Unsplash and find some others there. So I don't really have anything very purple. I'll just go with this purple gradient here because I love purple. That's all there is to creating a page. Now let's get into the course overview. This is where we're capturing the big picture. Who's the course for? What problem does it solve? And what transformation it promises. So here's where I might add in a heading. I might even make it a toggle just to keep everything concise, because with the toggle you can close it. I'll show you what I mean. So to add a section or add a type, so you can just start typing here. Oops. You can just start typing here. You can type out anything you want. But if you want to use different features to organize, tap the slash and it gives you all of these different options in here that you can add. Like there's so many things you can do with Notion these days. It's kind of insane. So I like to use a toggle. So I'm just going to do a regular toggle here and we'll just do overview. Now what this will let us do is open this up and start typing in here. This is where you want to add kind of more information about the course, like we just mentioned. So who is this for? What problem am I solving? And you can put anything else in here that you want to make a note of for your course. You can use this section as a brain dump. Like put all of the things that you're thinking about your course in here, and then you can kind of check them off or cross them out or delete them or whatever as you work through building your course and make final decisions about what's going to be in it. What's great about this though is you can put your brain dump. In fact, I might even just call this brain dump. Let's just call it brain dump because it's fun. And you can close the toggle, make it all kind of go away so that it keeps your overall course planning page clean, but all of that information is still in there. So then you can toggle it back down when you want to look at your notes, add more notes, whatever. Even if you're not 100% sure what you want to put in there, just start brain dumping because clarity comes from writing, not waiting for the perfect idea. Okay, now we're gonna do lesson ideas, and I'm gonna actually show you kind of two ways to do this. One is in a table because I think a lot of people like a table view, kind of like a bird's eye view of everything. And one is going to be using toggles because that is how I have it set up in my course in a weekend dashboard. Because I like that I can add the assets under each different section and keep it super organized that way. So I'm going to kind of show you both ways of setting this up. So let's start with creating a heading for lesson ideas. So I'm just going to hit the slash and choose heading 2. So for this, there is a table option in Notion, but for this, I'm going to use database because I want to have other features in there, like being able to have drop-down menus and that sort of thing, check boxes. So I'm going to actually do a database. So I'm going to just hit the slash, do an inline database, and then I'm going to name the sections. Okay, so like for status, I'm going to do, it's actually going to be status. And then for this one, I'm going to make these statuses idea, draft, and done. So now for this one, what will happen is when you click on it, you'll be able to choose what status that lesson is in. And then for the last section, we're going to do assets. And this one, I want to do files and media. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so now we've got this table in here where you can start mapping out your lessons. So for example, you're going to have lesson 1. You're going to have notes about the lesson here. If I could type. This is where you're going to choose if it's an idea, is it in draft mode, whatever. And then for here, you can choose to upload a file to go along with that lesson. So maybe it's an image, maybe it's a video, maybe it's a link to something. You can also add another column, like if you need to do more than one. So maybe this is your, if you need to do more than one asset, maybe this is one is your video link asset, and you upload your videos there, and then this might be your images and so forth. So you can upload multiple types of media that you need for your course. I like doing that because it keeps it right there, because I don't know about you, but there's nothing more frustrating to me than knowing that everything is saved somewhere on Google Drive. And it doesn't matter how hard I try to organize it. I even have a little product on organizing Google Drive. But sometimes, and it's great, but sometimes things still get lost. Maybe I was a little lazy in my naming conventions that day. So when I think what I think it's called, it isn't called that. So when I go to search it, it's hard to find. I just feel like no matter how organized you try to keep Google Drive, sometimes it just ends up this vast landscape of lost files. So I love this because you upload the actual file right here, or you can link to your Google Drive copy of it, whatever works better for you. So it's right there. You click it and you go right to it, or you click it and you download it. It is right there, ready for you. And this is great too, because you can also keep track of what lessons are done. Like which lessons, they're titled, they have descriptions, they have all the video or assets that go along with it. They're ready to go into your course platform. You change it to done, then you have a very clear visual of what is ready to go. So the database version of this is great for that real bird's eye view version of your course outline. This part alone will save you hours of confusion later, because anytime you think, oh, that could be a great lesson, just add it in here, make your notes about it, and then come back and revisit it later when you are ready to start creating. Now, real quickly, I also want to show you how I do it with my course in a weekend dashboard, because it's a little bit different than this, but it's also a great way to organize your content. And that is to simply create lesson blocks. So I'm going to do lesson 1. I'm actually going to make this a header so that it's nice and big and visible. And then underneath this, I'm going to do a toggle, just a plain toggle list. That's module 1. So this would be module 1 inside of lesson 1. And then inside of each section here, I put a place to upload a video. So you can either upload a video or embed a link. So if you're saving your videos on YouTube, like maybe as unlisted or something, to use in your course platform, you could just put the link right here. If you have actual files that you're going to upload, you can put those right here as well. You may have to upgrade your Notion if you have a lot of really large files, but you can also link to your Google Drive. So whatever whatever you want to do with that. And then I like to also add a place for files for the same reason. So upload, workbooks or anything like that that you want to do. And then I'm going to hit the plus sign again, and I like to add a place for audio. If you do like an audio only version of your content, then that's a great place to upload that. And then I also like to add a spot for images. So I'm going to do an image upload here. And then finally, a little spot to put lesson notes. And I like to use a call out for this just because it gives it a little bit of differentiation. So, and then I, change this to whatever I like, the books, because this is where you're writing notes. So, and I think you can change the color of the background on this. Yeah. So if you wanted to do like a purple background, you could do that. And it just makes it stand out a little bit more. So that's what I like to do here. I would just erase, if I was planning out a course right now, I would just erase this, write your text here, and add my lesson notes. And then that way they can just be copied and pasted over into your course builder, whether that's Podia or Kajabi or whatever. So this is just another way of doing this. It doesn't have necessarily the status like as visible, which is totally fine. You can always just, when this is done, come up here, add an emoji that just says it's done. Maybe it's the checkbox. So then when you're looking at it later, you can just see like that they're done. So very easy to also get that visual if you need that. But I like that it kind of keeps everything a little more concise. So what I would do from there is just copy all of this, add it all to here, and any other lessons that you have as you go through it. And that way you know when you're ready to start actually building out your course inside of your builder or your course platform, then everything is right here. Grab the video, put it in there. Grab the notes, put it in there. Grab the docs, put it in there. And you're ready to go. Now, if you do have assets that you have linked elsewhere, maybe they're Canva, maybe you want to link to, your Canva file where you've created all your graphics, or maybe you want to link to Google Docs because you're creating pages in those instead of Canva PDFs or whatever that is, and you want to just have all of that in one spot. I would also add that in here as well. You can create a resources section here, and there's again many ways to do it. Make it a toggle, just put all your links in there so that you can close it back up. You can create a whole other page with the links on it if you want to. There's just so many different ways you can do it. You can create another database if you want to do that and have a table, a bullet list, like it, the options are endless in terms of how you want to actually have it look for you. So, and again, you can just like type resources, click here, choose what you want. For just the resources, I'd probably just do, like I said, I really like toggles because it keeps everything on the one page, but you can still close them up. You can turn it into a page. So that'll look like this. You can click on it, change the icon. When you click on it, what it'll do is open up a whole new page, and then you can list out your links here if you want to do that. This could be great if you want to give people access to it outside of your course platform for whatever reason, like maybe it's just like, here's a place where you can download all the worksheets at once without having to click through all the modules, then you could do this, because you can make a public share link for this page where they can view the page, click the links, download the things, and, you know, without making any adjustments to it or whatever. So that could be an option for you as well. But yeah, I would do some kind of resources to keep all of your stuff together. So I really like, I feel like I'm backtracking a little bit. So I really like having each lesson have their specific files, because that really helps with putting it into your course platform, especially if you have like a VA or somebody who's doing that for you. Everything is laid out for them. But if you do still have that folder, or if you want to have your content organized in another way for your students, then a resources page is great. And it's also just a great spot to just have everything kind of in there so that you know exactly where you can access it. Okay, so now what we have here is a page in Notion that is dedicated to your course that you're building. It has a brain depth section, it has the lesson sections with the breakdown of what's going to be in each lesson, and the assets that go along with that. And then it also has a spot for resources where you can link to additional assets for your course. That way everything is in one spot when you're ready to upload it. Now, we love a good vibe, don't we? So you can also make a Notion dashboard pretty. This is very basic because we've gone through this really quickly, but you can add dividers, call out boxes like we did before, which are so fun because they can add some color. You can highlight lesson, or you can highlight the text. You come over here to text color. You can either highlight the background, which will put the purple behind it, or you can do the text color instead so that the text color is purple. Probably wouldn't do purple on purple. There we go. So you can make it pretty as you go. Maybe add a little block at the top with like a quote that motivates you. Like I said, I love the call out boxes. I like to use those for making notes about, you know, pro tips that I want to add into the content in the course, because it makes it fun, makes it easy to remember to put it in there. You can also even add a little to-do list up here at the top. Let's add a to-do list. And this could just have things like record videos and so forth. Just enough to keep momentum, just enough to keep you on track, give you that visual cue that this is the next thing I need to do. Super fun, and to add that at the top. All right, so now we've got a quick little checklist, an overview of what's going to be in the course, a breakdown of the lessons, including the content that's going to go in there and the assets that are included, and a dashboard that makes you actually want to work on your course because everything is in one spot instead of digging through Google Drive and notes apps and reminders and sticky notes and all the things, right? Now, if you want to skip all of this manual setup, my course in a weekend Notion dashboard has all of this already laid out for you. Let's take a quick peek at it. It is right here. It is ready to go. You can duplicate this whole page into your own Notion account so that you have access to it. You can come in here and start planning, brain dumping, checking things off. There's a whole spot in here for your course outline, including places to upload all of your files, write out your lessons for multiple lessons. It includes checklists and swipe files and all of the things that you need to plan your course and get it ready to go live. So I'm going to link to it in the description, so be sure to check it out. Save yourself tons of time on building out your own Notion course dashboard. I've just shown you how easy it is to do, but why not make it a little bit easier? All right, that's it for today, my friend. I hope that you found this helpful, and I hope that you're excited to start getting your course built out. Now that we've built out the dashboard, next week I'm going to start actually showing you how to organize your content in there. I want to be sure you don't miss that, so make sure you hit subscribe so that you get notified when that video goes live. In the meantime, check out these videos all about how to get your course and digital products uploaded into Podia so that you can actually start selling them. And I will see you next week. Bye.